crisis and economic depression, small business owners often struggle with making sales and keeping the loyalty of their people, because if you ain't selling, it's hard to pay the bills.
On the Ethical Sales Podcast, you will learn new ways to selling ethically and communicating with your people to create more loyalty and getting out of the rut of stress and frustration.
When there is plenty of sales, there should be plenty of profits to keep things flowing smoothly and everybody be happy. Welcome to the Ethical Sales Podcast. I'm Elias Raber.
I'm Matt Raber.
And I'm the co-host, Owen Schrock. So what's the topic for today? It's going to be an interesting discussion.
It's been a minute.
I think it's going to be very timely.
It's good to be back in the studio with you. We've been sitting here for the last couple hours putting a lot of content together for you guys. We got rolling out here in the future.
Mapping out the next year.
Good stuff.
Got some major plans.
Today, we're going to talk about a subject that might not be so pleasant to talk about, and it's product shortages.
Ouch.
Yeah. We're living in some crazy times.
Where's my stuff?
Yep.
How can I sell something I can't
I've gotten
get?
probably 100 phone calls in the last month about this issue. Can you tell me more? When is it going to be back in stock? When are we going to get back to normal? Yeah, I'd like to ask all those questions myself. I think we're all ready to be back to normal, but if you do it right, yeah, it is a pain, but we can use these things to our advantage if we know how.
You know, right now, products being 6 to 8 weeks behind. Place an order today, kiss your money goodbye for about 2 months before you're going to see it. You know, I don't think it's that big of a deal for our established contractors. You know, they have flow, they have things going on. It's not that big of an issue. They've been telling their customers it's going to be 6 to 8 weeks anyway because they're busy, because they already have other projects ahead of that customer. If you're a newer person listening, you're the ones that it's affecting the most, but at the same time, just deal with it a lot the same. I would encourage you to deal with it a lot the same way that the established guys are dealing with it. You don't have to go to your customer and say, hey, look, we can't get our products for 6 weeks and create a scenario with it or create a problem with it. You can go to your customer and just say, hey, look, we're about 6 to 8 weeks behind right now. You know, that's one way to do it. It actually helps you look more professional. It actually helps you look like you're busy, which is good. Your customer wants to hire somebody who's busy. If you ask a guy to come out and plunge a well into your property and he says he can get to it tomorrow, he's probably not the right guy for the job. There's a reason for that. It's known out there. If you can get to it yesterday, you might not be the right guy for the job unless he knows that you're just getting into business and you're new, and then he might not want to hire you either. Use it to your advantage. And, you know, for your established guys out there, and even for you new guys, there's nothing wrong with being transparent as well and using that as well and creating urgency with it and saying, hey, look, you're aware of the shortages of products. We're 6 to 8 weeks on our orders right now. So if this is something you want to, you know, go ahead and get done, then let's get the contract signed, get some money down, because these are literally, we're going to have to pay for these products for 2 months before we're going to see them. And that's a conversation that some of y'all, if you don't have the cash flow, you might have to have a conversation with him to get more money down up front. If you don't have the money to be able to buy the products, you might have to get 50% down or something like that up front to pay for your products. And I think most of your customers will understand because they're probably dealing with the same thing in their business in some way or another.
Yeah, this isn't just a roofing business problem. I mean, I went by the car lot yesterday, one of the biggest in the area, and their lot's almost empty. One of the major car manufacturers, I think it was Ford, said they literally have it was a stupid amount of vehicles that are sitting outside and they're all done, but they're waiting on this one computer chip there's a shortage of. And until they have those computer chips, that vehicle is not going to run. And they had their lot completely full. It was millions of dollars in vehicles sitting there that they can't do anything with until they get those chips, because there's a shortage of that right now. And I don't understand what creates all of that shortage and all that, because I think a lot of it could be avoided. It's the times we live in. Use it to your advantage as much as you can. And I know that might not be the right term, use it to your advantage. But if you create the urgency, you tell your customer, hey, I'd like to do the job. We'd like to get it done. But if you want to get it done in July or August, which is our our best, most optimal weather, we need to be pulling the trigger on it right now.
Some of you know I dabble a little bit with guns, a hobby, put together some rifle systems and have some fun with it. 6 to 8 weeks right now in that industry is like getting your products tomorrow. I just placed an order with one of the manufacturers for some rifles and they're telling me 6 to 8 months. This is not a roofing only issue. This is not a Conklin only issue. This is a worldwide problem. This is what happens when you make half of the employees stay at home and try to still meet demand. It doesn't happen.
If there's a product shortage or price increase, prices are increasing on almost everything. Maybe right now it's not inflation induced, but it will be with time, I believe. Use it to your advantage. I think mindset's a huge thing, be prepared, be aware of what's going on with shortages, with prices. Most of your customers are going to be aware of that already. Create urgency, because if they do want it done this year, they have to get on it. They have to get it signed and get going. Love it. I think that pretty much wraps it up for this episode. Now, as a business owner and a leader, you need information and training that supports you. Right now, we're in the pre-launch phase of the Leader Minded Nation, adding 38 training sessions, marketing, sales, operations, communications, leadership, automation, pandemic response, and includes training from people like Victor Antonio, Coach Michael Burke, Tom Ziegler, Randy Brothers, Myron Golden, and many others. You can learn more about Leader Minded Nation at leaderminded.com/nation.
This episode was hosted by the Max Potential Podcast Network. Find more great shows at maxpotential.com.